Okay, this is Robin the Generous Stitcher, and Max is eating a snack. Willow is taking a nap. Where am I at here? Okay, so I've done a couple little segments of curated cross stitch collection, and I think that might be it. So I've had 2 partial finishes this month, and I'm going to show those first. First thing is Cardinal Biscornu. Get this out. So I finished the top. So this, gosh, that's a little bit better. There was a little bit too much shadows on it. So I didn't do all the back stitching on it, but I like how it turned out. And so this is the top of the biscornu that's shown here. And I'm going to a class with Beth Twist on August 16th in Bend, Oregon. There's probably still some openings if you want to go to Cynthia's of Bend. And then last night I started the corner of the bottom. So it's literally on the other side from that. So and I did my little bit of back stitching along the border, so I knew how many how many stitches away from the running back stitch I needed. So okay, and I was really encouraged. I might have mentioned this, but Cheryl McKinnon, the Tiny Modernist, who's the designer on this, she mentioned something in her Midsummer Stitch presentation that she felt like her patterns were her designs were the beginning, not the end. And so that made me feel a little bit encouraged, because I have taken her patterns and put them on bibs, and so and I'm still going to do the full pattern. If I didn't like the pattern enough to do the whole thing, I wouldn't have bought it. But the bib idea worked, and so anyway, I haven't filled out my stats for this month because it's only the 25th. I did stitch on, I did film on the 19th. But I had book club on the day that I normally film, so I didn't get any filming done that day. And so anyway, this is like one partial finish and a whip, and this is going to be a busy weekend, so I wasn't sure I had time to film. And I didn't want to push everything onto Sunday. So the other thing that is a partial finish is I had stitched, this is Feather Friends May from December Stitches, and I'm gonna be working with a friend to finish that, do a lot of the finishing, or at least preparing the finishing materials myself. So this was a Nash Stash Start Along. Sorry for the crease. So love this pattern. I want to do it for myself, but this was going to be a smalls exchange. And so one of the things you'll see on the finishing birdhouse and tree is you have the birdhouse, and the pattern is stuck in front of the birdhouse, and it's different. It's different calendar month. So this is for May. So there was a little May label, and I didn't stitch that originally, but then I thought, I've got a little time, maybe I'll do it, and so I did it. So so we'll see. A friend of mine actually wanted to do this for herself, And so she had done this too, and she hadn't done the label. She's actually got, gosh, at least 3 or 4 of the different months, but she didn't like all the months, so she wasn't really keen on having the month labeled on the finished piece that she was going to have for her home. But I was going to give this as a smalls exchange, and I thought, yeah, maybe I'll do the full thing, and then if they want to continue on and do the rest of the months, they can, or they can take, I assume, these things you take on and off because they're different months, so they can choose to put the May on or off depending on how they want to display that. So I have I have the trees over there. It's because I bought 2, one for me and one for the giveaway. And so I have a friend who's got paints, and we're gonna have a paint day at her house, I hope within the next month, because the retreat's coming up. So that little May was my other finish. And then for whips, I did one evening where I worked on the Fox and Rabbit, A Gathering of Acorns, and I worked a little bit on the roof, but I also, and I don't know if you can see, but I filled in the windows. And so I still have this window that has no panes, and this window has all the panes except for the very bottom row. You can maybe see the difference in color. And so, I've been spending so much time with the Cardinal biscornu. I basically have stitched every day this month except for on Tuesday. And it was weird because I had gone 5 days before, I'd gone 5 days stitching straight before July started, and then when I thought, no, don't have time on the 23rd or the 22nd to stitch because of book club, and I was like antsy because I hadn't stitched. So anyway, and I feel kind of antsy today because I'm tired, and this is the busiest time of my work, so I've had a really jam-packed work days, and I had book club, and I got off an hour early because it was my birthday this week, and I went to Stitch Group and had my husband bring cake over, and so it's been a busy week socially and work-wise. So I have two more whips to show. So like I mentioned with Tiny Modernist, I'm putting a bib on her night terrarium on a bib, and I have this teal bib, and I started stitching one of the plants, basically these taller flowers I'm going to shorten, and I'm going to put in other parts of the bib, and basically take a slice, because the Ada on this bib is only like 30, 35 or 34 stitches high at the most, so I have to be really careful. And this terrarium height-wise is 90 stitches, so this part that I slice through the middle is basically 30 stitches high or 32 stitches high, so I know it will fit on my bib. And so the colors are great, they're super bright, and so this is going to be, I started stitching it because I think it's a bit more stitch heavy than the other bib. The other bib I need to start in September because it's due in October, but this one is due at the end of October, beginning of November, or even a little bit later because it's for a family member. They're due in November. They think they're going to have their baby sooner, but who knows. So anyway, so I've put a few stitches in on that, but just to kind of get it started, and I think one other day I was stitching it to kind of give myself a break from the Cardinal biscornu. And then let's see, don't really have any place to stack my stuff. And finally, the other whip I'm working on is also a gift with a deadline. And gosh, I'm glad the cat's skedaddled. So this is Lindy Stitch's Japanese Bantam. And I made a little bit of progress on it. Again, I wish I'd made a bit more progress, but as soon as the cardinal biscornu is done, this is going to be the focus piece. So this is on Mystic Fabric Unmellow Yellow. The bib is 14 count Aida. The Acorn Gathering is on 16 or 18 count Aida, which is In the Attic by Fox and Rabbit. And so, and the cardinal biscornu is on 32 count Witchelt Lugana, white Lugana with opalescent flecks. And so this is Unmellow Yellow by Mystic Fabrics, and this was one of their Fabric of the Month fabrics, and it's available on their website. It's a lovely yellow, goldenrod model color. And so this is my next focus piece that I want to get a lot done on next month, which is August. I feel like the clock's really starting to tick. So, especially with all these finishing things that I'm actually going to be finishing myself. So instead of just having something done by a certain time and then handing it off to the finisher and like, boom, it's, not thinking about it for a while until I, get it back and pay the finisher. Which, by the way, I got a call from Acorns and Threads, and the one piece that I'm having finished professionally that I know of, it's ready. It got returned to the shop today, so it's ready, and I know what it's going to look like, because I got a cell phone picture from the finisher saying, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I was like, "It's beautiful. Go for, are you sure, what's the dimension of this?" Told me, and I was like, "Yeah, go for it." So anyway, okay, so that's whips. Now, I'm going to have the curated cross stitch collection. There aren't, and I've told you about the class I'm taking. There aren't any more things for me to attend until Pinwis, which is in September. And I think that might be it. And I think I did talk about the Midsummer Stitch when I was doing curated cross stitch collection, and I'm gonna have some photos. You've probably already seen the photo because I was planning on putting them at the front of this video, of Max and Willow's response to Midsummer Stitch, and you probably can guess what their response was. So anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you for subscribing. Like, comment, share, and thank you if you watch the whole video. And also if you've been, I know I've got at least 2 subscribers that I see in person, and they've both told me that their life's been too busy recently. I know what's going on in their life, so yeah, it's been busy and stressful for the normal stuff that's going on, and so I know that they haven't watched my channel for months. But if you have subscribed sometime in the past and you watch the video and you notice that the bell isn't showing up anymore, maybe you should resubscribe. So, because sometimes the algorithm, takes people off for whatever reason that, is inhumanly possible, because it's the algorithm, not a person. So thank you anyway, and I will see you at Acorns and Threads this weekend. Actually, that's tomorrow. You'll probably see the video be posted after I go to the shop, actually. But anyway, and yeah, August 2nd, I probably won't be at the shop because I've got a private Zoom I attend. And then what's the next one after that? That would be the 9th. Yes, the 9th I should be at the shop. And then I have my class in band. So anyway, thank you and enjoy the rest of the video. There's you are. Hi, Max. He was not interested. We were watching video presentations in Midsummer Stitch. Willow, you'll see the pictures. Willow was totally thrilled and watching intently. He was looking out the window. So, anyway, I thought I'd do a little short video because I have like about 45 minutes before the next session starts. What day was this? Come on, now my mouse isn't working. Let's see. So July 12th, Salem Area Stitchers, we had an in-person meetup, which was kind of, well, at the time we didn't know, but there was a trunk show going on at Acorns and Threads for Lola Crow, who is Amy. She's a local, so we've met her, stitched with her in the shop. She's also was the guest designer for our last mini retreat, the Gathering of Nuts or Gathering of Acorns, at the last Sunday in January. And so I'm going to show some of her stuff in a minute. But one of our members is moving to Indiana, so she's clearing out stuff, and she brought 2 crates of patterns that she didn't want anymore. So I got there late, so I didn't even know they were there until almost the end. And so I picked some up. Things I don't normally stitch, but I like, designers I don't normally stitch, but I like the stuff. So one of those, I got several Brenda Gervais. This is Boo to You. And let's see. Yeah, 2019. And this is Hickety Pickety. I got this because it's a chicken, and it could be something I could stitch for my great niece who likes chickens. This one I got, this is Brenda Gervais, also Spring Serenade. Sorry for the glare. I'm not going to change that though. So I recently got I think it was Grandma's Candy Dish, which was another Easter pattern from my friend Lisa, who's also Lisa from Tigard, member of Salem Area Stitchers. And so I thought that might be a nice companion piece. I also like the little bluebirds in the pattern. So we have a specific bluebird in Oregon. That's the western bluebird, different than the eastern bluebird in the United States. They look a little differently. And then Hands-On Design, she had Block Party for Java, and it came with I think this is the wool that goes on the bottom. And I've never finished one, so I'm thinking I know how they're put together, which I really don't. And then Snow, which was another Block Party. I have the cat one. And so then this is Little House Needleworks, which there's a bunch of this designer's pattern at Acorns and Threads, because I was looking for some charts today, and they've kind of, as we get new things, the shop kind of rearranges where some things are. So I saw a whole rounder of patterns by this designer. So this is the North Wind. The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will the robin do then? Because it has a robin on it. So you see a lot of cardinals, you see a lot of crows, but you don't see that. And you see a lot of English robins, which are not the same. They're about a third of the size of an American robin. Or actually, I've never seen a European robin. So maybe they're half the size, but they're tiny birds compared to the yeah, the American robin's like about this high, and you know, they're a member of the thrush family. So then Barbara Anna designs, and this one is a pattern I've seen. Sorry, the glare. There's without the glare. Santa riding a snail. I've kind of decided I like snail patterns and I want to do a bunch of them, so I've been picking them up. Here's another Barbara Anna design, Witchy Harvest, where the cat is helping harvest the gourds. And then this was Scarlet House, Smith Sampler, and I thought it was really cool with the swan. I like the red bird and flowers. So, and there's some other like greenish birds, like lower in the pattern. So I like the birds. Okay, so that's all the stuff I got for free, and which was a lot more than I think I should have picked up. But, you know, I think I am now up to 200 and, before I added a couple things in today from shopping at Acorns and Threads, I was at 253 rows of patterns. So I got some Flossway bags because I really want to do something different with my specialty flosses. And so this is 100 bags. I know I have less than 100 specialty flosses, skeins, all told. So then this is one of the new Mill Hills. How did I do that? Oh, like that. So this is Button and Beads. It's Haunted Lighthouse. So I saw this spring. It's finally come. It was sort of back ordered for a long time. I picked up another piece of Prank, which is kind of funny because this Prank looks a little bit lighter than the one I have here. And I have a really good hunk of the one I have here. So I think I'm going to use the big hunk that I have here that I got for Halloween Cat by Cotton Pixels. And I'm going to use a smaller piece for the little stuffed cat, Halloween cat. So I'm going to swap which fabric. It's the same Picture This Plus Prank. It's orange mottled, but this one this is 36 count. I don't remember if the one I got was 36 count or 32 count, but it just seems like the modeling on this is lighter. You know, there's lighter orange in the spaces. And I was thinking about that the spouse looked at this, you know, did the eye test with him because he really has a good sense for color and design. So sometimes if I'm kind of on the fence about something, I'll ask him to give it a look. And so he liked the darker Prank for Witch's Hollow by Autumn Lane. And so anyway, I already got the other little kitten, the cat kitted up, but now I can kit it both. All right, then the Summer House Stitch Works number 3, is that upside down? Yes, it is, sorry. Number 3 and number 4, and that one's kind of like, I don't know if that's like intentionally to the side or whether it's supposed to be like that. I guess it is intentionally to the side. Sorry, so one's a cat, one's like a scary tree. So let's see, what is Moon Glow? Because there's the moon in the corner. And this has blackbirds and tree and a lot of moon glow, which is really funny because right now I'm reading John Scalzi's When the Moon Hits Your Eye, which is a science fiction novel about the moon. It's hilarious and it's really interesting. And it's not super scientific for people who are, you know, I like hard science, but I also enjoy stuff like that. So, okay. And yeah, this is just a cat in a picture frame, or maybe it's sort of in a window. So, all right, Plum Street Sampler. This is Tropic Troop, which are flamingos, which I think I'm kind of on a flamingo kick. And then this is a new Lola Crow. So she was the guest designer for the 2025 Gathering of Acorns mini retreat, where, and I've shown this pattern in Flosstube. I may pop a picture of it up so you can see the bigger piece, but the bigger piece is Acorns and Friends. And so this is a piece sort of adjacent to, inspired by Acorns and Threads, or sorry, Acorns and Friends. Acorns and Friends is actually the Acorns and Threads Facebook page. And so this is based on characters and motifs in the Acorns and Friends pattern. So she's going to do a series of these, maybe 4, but I'm not really sure the final number, but I want to do them. And I do not believe I have this one on my PDF. I usually download stuff from her with PDFs. I downloaded Extraordinary Birds this week. Anyway, this is What the Cat Saw KT event. So she has a whole series of what the cats saw out the window, and there's like a kraken eating a ship, there's Bigfoot, and so there's all sorts of things the cat sees. And so I've got those other ones as PDF designs. And so this is one I've been waiting to see in physical form in the shop. This is the Blue Flower Sea and Shore. And I believe she showed this in May. And I was kind of waiting to see it in our shop so I could buy it. And so that, oops, it's gonna slide if I'm not careful. Trying to keep it out of the cat food crumbs on the table here. And then I got Halloween Just Cross Stitch. I saw it in June and I thought, no, I don't really see anything on the front that I really like that much, although the center pumpkin with the head full of ghosts is pretty funny. But then I saw Helen D talk about this one, and there's a tiny little cat ornament there that I liked, and I was trying to think if there was another one in here. Anyway, she had gone through and pointed out some cat things, and oh, that's cute. There's a ghost walking a ghost dog, and the ghost dog is very reminiscent of Nightmare Before Christmas, one of my favorite movies of all time. And so anyway, so there's also some bugs in here. Oh, spooky moth shadow box. Oh, okay. Well, this wasn't the one that I was thinking of, but that's in there. People like moths. I'm not really enamored of moths and butterflies. Although, I love them in the wild and I want to support their habitat, but I don't really want to stitch them so much. Oh, there was a graveyard biscornu in here. That was something I had, I don't think I could show this because I don't want to break the spine on this magazine. So gosh, this is another sort of Tim Burton-esque pattern in there. All right, so that is Curated Cross Stitch Collection. I hope I don't have anything more to buy. It's July 19th when I'm recording this Curated Cross Stitch Collection. I don't anticipate buying anything related to cross stitch until August. So, although I will be back in the shop, I was in the shop this morning to pick up some stuff I had on order, as well as look for stuff on my shopping list. And I will be back in the shop next Saturday for the free stitch. So anyway, gotta go back to Midsummer Stitch. I will be shooting the rest of this video, and part that you'll see before this part is the stuff that I actually film later, because my normal film date is the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month. So, but I like to get some stuff done, because these, I'm just nattering on, and these, you know, my videos get longer and longer because I natter on. So I'm gonna stop. Okay, have fun, enjoy Midsummer Stitch if you're doing it or have done it, and I'll see you in a while.